Rise and grind, gamers. My name is Tetsyumi, and welcome to a Disgaea RPG Should You Summon. So, I'm going to skip most of my usual filler because I want to keep this video relatively short, but basically, Disgaea RPG is a brand new mobile gacha game that I have been completely addicted to, and today a new banner came out with two brand new characters. So today, in this video, we are going to be looking over the new characters, looking into the banner, and finally, I'm going to be telling you, in my opinion, if you should summon, skip, and what I plan on doing. So let's get into it by looking at our first of two new characters, Attired Rozalin. So Rozalin, I'm just gonna say it right off the bat, Rozalin is almost a must-summon character, but I'll get into that all later. Basically, she is a human bow forte user. These are her stats. She has a 38 attack stat, 32 defense stat, 36 int stat, 32 res stat, and 58 speed stat. So, if you were anything like me, basically, that meant pretty much nothing to you. But I'm just gonna go ahead and compare him to people like, Laharl and Desco, because her stats, Attired Rozalin, are actually really good. And as you guys probably already know by now, Laharl and Desco are both like S to God tier characters in the game, at least so far, and Attired Rozalin pretty much has the stats to go up and compete against them. So if we see, Rozalin has a 38 attack stat, Laharl has a 39 attack stat, and as you can see, when they get to level 9999, their stats are pretty much identical. Now, the only, way this varies a little bit is with Desco, because Desco's stat is, I think, 2 points higher than Rozalin in attack at the beginning, so she gets a pretty big boost to her attack stat. Desco does, not Attired Rozalin, but pretty much for everything else, like they're pretty much the same. I think Laharl here has a bit higher defense. He has a bit higher defense, but Rozalin has better intelligence, resistance, and speed. Speed is a big thing too, because both Laharl and Desco, like as you can see, speed 47 and speed 50. Rozalin has a speed of 58, and keep in mind this is without any gears on her or anything to boost her speed or boost her stats like that. So Rozalin is a really good character if you're just looking at her stats. So let's go ahead and move on to her attributes and her resistances. I actually really like this character because her attributes are just like no negative anything. If you see with some characters like Desco here, Desco has minus 50% to wind attacks, which is not great, although she does have 25% resistance and 25% resistance to water and fire. But Attired Rozalin here, she just has 25, 50, 25, and 0. She doesn't have any bad affinity towards any certain type of attacks, which I really like, because that means if you're going up against, let's say this, I think it's just called Star. If you're going up against a Star, they're not going to be doing any more damage, they're just not going to be any resistance to it. And then her resistances to poison, paralyze, sleep, and forget are all 40%, which I think is pretty good too. As I said, her weapon mastery is the bow, which is good because I think, I'm not, don't quote me on this because I haven't actually checked it out too much. But I'm pretty sure the bow forte users can get some really good and really strong AoE attacks later down the line. But I'm not sure, I haven't checked that. That's just kind of what I've heard from a little bit of people. So let's go ahead and go on to her abilities. Her main ability is all allies action gauge plus 100 when a wave starts. That is insane. This is just completely almost broken. So basically, guys, when you're fighting and there's 3 main waves in every stage, pretty much in the beginning of all those waves, every single person on your team is gonna get 100 to their action gauge. So if you look down here, I'll show you guys this on a minute, but you see these big attacks that cost 90 SP or 50 SP that you usually can't do until the final stage if you're saving up your SP. Yeah, Rozalin can just make it so you can do that literally whenever. Every time a wave starts, you can just, pull out your giant 100 SP mega hitting move and just destroy every wave. So this is incredible. Now, her NE+1 ability, which is, when you put dupes into this character, as you will, all allies AoE damage dealt plus 15%, which is really good, especially for a team like Desco, right? If you're getting her on a team like Desco, who does really good AoE farming and just AoE damage in general, then, I forgot her name already, Rozalin is just gonna, boost those characters just that little bit more to really help you out with the stage. Now, NE+5 is this Princess's Decision. ally with the highest action gauge, attack, and intelligence stat plus 30% when a turn ends. Now this one is a little bit confusing, but basically, whenever someone ends their turn, the next person with the highest attack and intelligence stat will get plus 30%, I think. Sorry, not intelligence, attack intelligence. The next ally with the highest action gauge will get attack and intelligence plus 30%, which again is really good because, you know, Rozalin, right, she's probably going to be going fast, right? So she's going to not usually put this on herself, but that means when her turn ends, you know, the next person, you know, on your team that's going to have their move going, they're pretty much just going to get attack and intelligence plus 30%, which is really strong. And then her any plus 7 is this New Year's gift, which gives all party XP plus 7%, which is not great compared to these ones, but I still think it's just a nice little boost. So let's go ahead and go into character skills. At level 1, she gets New Year's Princess, which, if you guys don't know, this level 1 is just going to be, you know, the thing you get when you get the character. This is just her basic single target attack. Not too much damage, it only goes from E to E+, but you know what, it's pretty cheap on SP, so if you're really struggling, you know, you can always just pull out this one. Level 50, she gets My Wishes, which goes from 50 to 45 SP. This targets party and ally. It's based on the resistance stat, and this is actually really cool. So it restores HP slightly and removes status element single. So if you guys are confused on what this means, basically it restores HP slightly to your entire team. So she's also partially a healer, which is just amazing. Restores HP slightly to your entire team, and then removes status element for one person on your team. That's what this single is. So as you can see, party ally, this is the party, this is just a single ally, which is great because if you're in a hard boss fight and you really need her, you need someone to be a bit defensive, you know, you got this just basically passive heal because again, she gives herself like 100 action gauge. You have a heal, and then you have a remove status element, which is great. I haven't seen any characters like this so far. At level 200, she gets lovely first strokes. It goes from E to D, so it's a bit stronger. 65 SP down to 60. AoE based on the attack stat, and it's pretty much just that. It's just an AoE attack. Nothing too special about that. And then we have her fourth one, which you get when you NE her to +3, which is, you know, if you put 3 dupes into her. It's this Bliss Liberation. That goes from C to C+, so it's a little bit stronger even than all these other ones. It goes from 90 to 85. AoE and self. It actually has the water like modifier, not modifier, I don't really know what to call this, element towards it, and again, it's based off the attack stat. So what this does is it's just, you know, it's just a basic attack, right? It's a strong AoE attack, and then at the end of it, she gives herself plus 30% to the attack stat. So I'm not sure if that's just for one turn or whatever it is, but basically, you know, if you start out with this and then you can, you know, get 20 SP again for your single attack, she'll have then another plus 30% to her attack stat, so this attack will be even stronger. So you can just kind of combo moves together like that. Let's go over character magic spells. Fire Mastery at 4, so this is when her bow gets mastered out. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on that, I'm still a beginner. When her bow gets Mastery 4, she gets a fire attack, single target, based on the int stat. It's low SP, but it's nice. And also, another thing I really like about Rozalin is, as you can see, you know, down here, if you get this any +3, she has this water, you know, element attack, but then also she just has regular fire element attack. So not only is she just a single, like, element user, if you can get her to any +3, she can get, you know, a second element to use, which could be crucial if you're fighting a really hard boss fight. Alright, to continue, 9 Mastery, you get this Magic Down. This decreases the int stat of the target 20% to 35%. This is pretty nice if you're just, you know, fighting someone that's a bit annoying using an int like magic or something. You can just, you know, quickly get a little decrease on that power. 15 Mastery, she gets Mega Fire, which goes from F to F+, 40 to 35 SP AoE based on the fire and, you know, int stat. Uses the power of fire to deal damage tier 2. So, you know, it's just a bit stronger of this fire stat up here. Then over here we get Mega Magic Down, which is, you know, pretty much just a stronger version of this Magic Down. Does the same thing, decreases targets int for 3 turns, but this time from anywhere between 40 to 55%. Or I don't know if it's between or as it levels up. I think it's as it levels up. So it starts at 40, then maxes out at 55%. And then we got this Giga Fire, which is the final one to this Mega Fire and Fire upgrade. Goes from F+ to E, 50 SP down to 45 AoE, fire element based off the int stat, and it's just uses the power of fire to deal damage, just a way stronger one of this mega fire and this fire up here. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is. And then if we go down to our last thing with this character, we can talk about the Nether Enhancements, which again, this is when you put dupes into the character, you unlock all of these. So, you know, 1 dupe into the character, you get this one, 5 dupes in, you get this one. So her first one is to unlock her sub-ability, which if you guys don't remember is this As You Will. It gives all allies damage plus 15% AoE damage, sorry. Then if we go down +2, her parameters get plus 30%. I'm pretty sure this is everything except speed, so all her parameters except speed get plus 30 to them. Then we go down to 3, unlock unique skill, which should be this Bliss Liberation. So that's, you know, that's why you should try and get her at least to her 3rd dupe, because this skill is going to be very, very helpful, especially again because it has this water element attached to it. +4 parameters, +10, I believe, all except speed too. +5 sub, unlock their 2nd sub ability, which is this, this Princess's Decision with the ally with the highest action gauge, attack, and int +30 when a turn ends. If we go down to 6, you know, more increase. 7 sub ability 3, which is this New Year's gift, which is the party XP. And then it's pretty much just, you know, more parameters increase, which is really, really good. Now, that is pretty much all there is to this character, again, the first of 2 characters that came out in this banner, and I'm actually going to go ahead and do a little bit of this and pull up our tier maker. I went ahead and made a basic tier maker. As you can see, I still have a lot of characters to put on it, because I haven't fully, reviewed or looked through all these characters. These 2 were the characters that came out in the last banner. I believe they're not super good, so I put them here, but again, it's subject to change, because I don't have these characters, I haven't tried them out. But what we are going to go ahead and do is I am going to put this Rozalin on the tier list to where I think she's going. And if you guys have, heard what I've been saying this entire review, she is easily going in the god tier, because Attired Rozalin, is that her name? Attired? I forgot. Attired Rozalin is just super, super good. She is amazing offensive. She has that little bit of defensive healing and remove status element. Her main ability is amazing, giving everyone action gauge. So overall, she is a super, super good unit. So I personally believe she's going in the god tier. Alright, next up we have the second of 2 featured characters on this banner, and right off the bat, this is the lesser of the 2 characters, so if you are going to be summoning, I would recommend Attired Rozalin. But we have Yukimaru, so she is a human sword user, sword forte user. Her stats are 33, 28, 33, 41, and 57, so again, really, really high speed stats. So if you're putting these guys on your team, that could just be a little bit of easy damage up front. I think it's 1 less than Rosalin's speed stat actually was. So, compared to Laharl and Desco, let's see, the attack, it's about 6 points less attack compared to Laharl, and about, 9? How much attack did you have? 7 less than Desco, so she's not a super, super strong hitter. Defense is obviously a bit less too. As you can see, Laharl's is 35, Desco's is 33, hers is only 28. But here we go, her int, resistance, and speed, they are all a bit higher, I believe. Yeah, they're all a bit higher than Laharl's and Desco's. And again, Laharl and Desco's are what I'm using just to compare stats, because again, these are also 2 god tier characters, so I think it's pretty fair. So, overall, stats aren't super bad. Her attributes are a little bit worse, in my opinion, than Rosalin's, I would say, just because she has this negative affinity towards the fire element. If you take damage from fire, you're going to get a little bit hurt more. But 75% pretty much resistance towards water. Same with basic resistances towards poison, all this stuff. 40% across the board. Same with Rozalin. I don't know why I said that weird. Again, sword forte. Let's go over her abilities. So, Bloodline of Snow is her main one. Self water damage dealt plus 60%. Now, this is not a bad ability by any means. Although personally, I don't really like it, because I think with abilities, it's really important to have some sort of boost to the entire team, not just self, which again is one of the reasons I put Fuka, is that his name? I don't remember. This guy, the reason I put this guy so low in my tier list, because he just doesn't have you know, he doesn't have that that team boost in any way. But then again, you know, 60% increased water damage is really good, especially because, as you can see, all her skills are going to be water-based, even her character magic spells, which are just, you know, some extra spells you get. So, at any +1, you get all set Zam, sword and axe wielding allies plus 7 SP when a turn begins. Now here is when her abilities start getting pretty good in my opinion, because sword and axe wielding allies are a decent chunk of the game. I mean, even like Laharl's a sword wielding ally. If you have him on your team, you know, he's gonna get another additional +7 at the beginning of every turn. And you know, if you guys don't remember, you also get 10 SP at the beginning of every turn for your character. So you know, that's an easy +17. That's enough to do, you know, a basic like first level character skill. So if you need a bit of extra damage, that would be a really easy way to do it. Her NE +5 is Expel Evil Spirit. All allies damage taken from monsters minus 12%. That's, again, pretty good if you're going through the story or if there's a raid that's especially hard. You're going to take 12% less damage from monsters, so not a terrible skill at all. And then her NE +7 is Extreme Kunoichi. All allies damage dealt to monsters plus 12%. So you guys can see a bit of a pattern here. The monster damage minus and monster damage, you know, dealt plus. She is going to be a very strong against monster characters. Alright, moving on, we got the character skills. So at level 1, her basic skill, she gets this Nadarjin, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Power E to E+, 20 to 15 SP, single target, water element based on the attack stat. Can't catch a cold if you use, you'll catch a cold if you use it too much. I messed that up so bad, but basically, just a normal basic attack skill that you can use if you're in a pinch. At level 200, she gets this Setsugetsuka, I think that's how you say it. F+ to E, 50 to 45 SP, AoE damage, again, based on the water element, and I did not mean to open that, whoops. Based on the water element and the attack stat. Advanced ninja art acquired through hard work. Again, just a stronger, you know, attack that's AoE this time. And then at her NE +3, she gets this midair Fubuki. That midair Fubuki. S to S, 70 to 65 SP, single target. You know, the water attack, you already know the drill. The strongest ultimate invincible skill of Snow Melody Village. Attack minus 10%. So, you might be confused about this, and honestly so am I. This is another attacking skill, but then there's this attack minus 10. Now, I'm not sure if this is attack minus 10 to the enemy or to Fubuki herself. So, you know, I might have to test that out if I pull the character. I'm not sure. This would be pretty bad if it was attack minus 10 to Fubuki herself, but I guess we'll see, because honestly, I don't really know. Either way, it's still an S power attack, so it's still going to be a strong hitter either way, so, you know, pretty good. Moving on to the character magic spells, at Mastery 4, she gets Charm, no power, 15 to 10, single target, bestows Forget effect upon the target for 3 turns. Now, the Forget effect, I'm actually not sure what that is. I'm gonna go ahead and look that up in just a second, but let me finish going through all of these. At level 9 Mastery, she gets Resist Break. That decreases the resistance of the target for 3 turns, which is really good, so basically, you'll do a bit more damage, I'm pretty sure. Level 15 Mastery, she gets Mega Ice, Power F to F+, 40 to 35, AoE attack, water element, based on the intelligence stat. Uses the power of ice to deal damage, so it's just a nice little AoE attack you can do. At 22, she gets Mega Resist Break, which is, you know, just the level up of Resist Break. It decreases the resistance of the target by 3 turns, 40 to 55%, which is a lot bigger than this one. Then at 30, she gets Slumber, bestows Sleep effect upon the target. Sleep, I'm pretty sure, is sort of like a Paralyze, where they just, like, can't attack. Alright, now let me actually go ahead and look up what Forget is. Alright, so Forget is also called Amnesia, and basically, units affected by it will be unable to use a special skill of any kind, which, again, that could be really helpful in a boss battle if you're going, you know, against some tough boss that you just can't beat, and maybe they keep using skills, killing your whole team, stuff like that. So, let's move on to Nether Enhancement. Her first Nether Enhancement, she gets Sub 1 ability, which was this All-Set Zam, the Sword and Axe wielding allies plus 7 SP when a turn begins. Parameters plus 30, again, I believe parameters plus 30 except speed. At 3, she unlocks her unique skill, which is going to be this Midair Fubuki, again, this really powerful one that possibly could lower her attack, not sure, or the enemy's attack, which would be great. Then she gets parameters plus 10. She unlocks her sub-ability, which is this Expel Evil Spirit. All allies damage taken from monsters minus 12%. More parameters increased by 30. Her third ability, which is damage dealt to monsters plus 12%. And then it's just parameters increased by another 30 as you go down. So, that is going to be it for Fubuki. Or Yukimaru. Did I say Fubuki? I think I said Fubuki a lot. Her name is Yukimaru. I don't know why I kept calling her Fubuki. But, where are we going to put her in terms of the tier list? Personally, I don't think she is super good, but I do think she brings a lot to the table. Well, I mean, I say a lot. She's good for boosting certain types of people, like maybe if you have a lot of water guys, or if you have sword and axe wielding, or if you're fighting monsters. She's good in terms of that. But overall, I'd say she's actually a lot worse than Attired Rozalin is, even just in terms of her stats. I mean, her stats are pretty weak, like 33 to the attack, 28 defense. She has a decent amount of int stat, which is good because a lot of her, actually not a lot, it's mostly attack, it's just this one relies on the int stat. But overall, I don't think she is super good, so personally, I'm going to put her either in the A or in the B tier. I think for now I'll keep her in the A tier, because, you know, she does have a few really good ability. Well, she has one really good ability in my opinion, but she does have a few really good character spells, depending on if this does, you know, lower the attack of her or the enemy. But yeah, pretty much this is where I stand with these two characters. So, now let's go over, do I think you should summon, and will I be summoning? So, personally, I would 100% recommend everyone to summon on this banner. Attired Rozalin, in my opinion, is a way too good character to pass up, and we don't know if she's going to be coming back anytime soon. So I would say everyone, if you're interested, if you want to strengthen up your team, or even if you're interested in Yukimaru, because in her own right, she's not a bad character, but I would just say everyone summon. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get Attired Rozalin. If I can, I would like to get her to at least her third ability, so I can get this Bliss Liberation, because I feel like that was going to be amazing combined with her main ability. So I'm gonna, you know, see if I can get her any up to that. But yeah, I would strongly recommend summoning, even if it's just for one copy. So also, now that we've gone over that, let's go ahead and take a look at the banner, because as far as I know, the banner is pretty similar to the last banner we had with these two characters on it. But let's go ahead and take a look. I'll show it up on screen right now because I actually took a screenshot of it with my phone. But yeah, basically, the character rates for Attired Rozalin and Yukimaru are both at a 0.7% rate, which is pretty good compared to everyone else being at a 0.13%. So you have a really high chance of getting the characters if you do decide to summon. So other than that, we got Laharl, Etna, we got Flone on the banner, Mao, but we also had, you know, Desco, Kilia, I think that's how you say it, not really sure, Valvatores. Basically, we got Desco, Valvatores, and Laharl on the banner, which in and of itself, that's a good banner to summon for, because they are amazing starting characters. And yeah, we pretty much just have all the 4 stars, you know, that you pretty much need, apart from the 2 that came in last banner. So yeah, honestly, I would say this is a really good banner to summon on, especially because obviously the game is new, we're all new players, it's only been out for like, I think, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks at this point. You know, these are all characters that you still should be trying to get, and even if you have them, you can be putting them in NEs, or you can just be making like a full team of them. If you want like a full team of 5 Laharls for some reason, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, definitely try and go for Attired Rozalin, because she is going to be an amazing character, especially in the future when we get stronger raids, stronger bosses, stuff like that, where you could really benefit from having 100% action gauge at the very beginning, because that's just going to make everything a lot easier. So yeah, that is it. That is going to be my quote-unquote expert advice as someone who's been playing the game for a while. Summon for Attired Rozalin. And yeah, that is going to be pretty much it, guys. Summoning video will be soon, I think in either a few days or like maybe tomorrow, not really sure. Kind of depends on everything that's happening, because I have my finals in a week for college, so you know, things get crazy sometimes. But yeah, that is going to be it. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it, and tell me in the comments below if you are going to be summoning on Attired Rozalin, and also if you think my tier list so far is accurate, because I kind of just threw this together for the video, but I am going to be planning on, you know, updating it and hopefully filling out this tier list a bit more. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, if you're going to be summoning, all that. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to stop talking. Peace.